Hello and welcome to the Sawalha-Adderleys YouTube channel. If this is your first time here and you've been brought here because of your interest in ADHD, stick with me. I'm going to be doing a whole series of videos on this. As a late life diagnosed person, I have been fascinated by everything I could read and listen to on YouTube, podcasts, articles about ADHD, because I've got such a hunger to find out about this thing that has impacted, now I'm discovering, in my life in so many different ways. So I was 58 years old yesterday. I was diagnosed just a few weeks ago. And to say that it's been a roller coaster is a bit of an understatement. We've always joked about me and ADHD. My husband was diagnosed 6 months ago with it, and he is off the diagnostic scale. He's so ADHD. And to be quite honest, we were reeling. We were so shocked that he had it. And because there'd always been this sort of suggestion over the last couple of years, oh, Laddie, you've got it, from my kids. Mum, you've definitely got ADHD. From my husband, from various other people. It's become a bit of a running joke. The joke that I've been in on, and a joke that I've been fine with. Oh God, well, if it's not ADHD, what's wrong with me? Why does it take 6 weeks to tidy up my room? And then at the end of the 6 weeks, it's still not tidy. That's been very much the vibe. So if you're new to this channel, or you're from you're from abroad, I know we have people from all over the world looking at this channel. I'm actually a TV presenter on a show called Loose Women, a bit like The View if you're looking from America. And they actually reached out to me recently and said, should we do an assessment of you? And I was thrilled to, because as a typical ADHDer, I was never going to get that assessment done because I procrastinate about everything. Anyway, so I was all very excited about having that assessment. It was done here in my own home. I filled out a form, which again, as an ADHD person, is a bloody nightmare. I filled out an initial form that said, yes, it's likely that you have ADHD. So then I sat down for the full diagnosis. It's an hour and a half. And basically all the questions that I'd asked, that I'd answered in my pre-assessment, were then gone into in more detail, and then other questions as well, going right back from your early days. Could you bear standing in the queue when you were a kid at school, or could you not bear it and you'd go off, or you'd try to jump to the front of the queue? Did you ever finish your homework? Could you listen in class? On and on. Relationships, the way that you eat, any kind of addictions, everything you can imagine you are asked about. And I entered into the assessment with a bit of, oh, here we go. Am I going to have ADHD? Or what is it? If I haven't got ADHD, what's wrong with me? And then as the assessment went on, I actually found it really difficult. I didn't want to be emotional, but I was starting to feel deeply emotional. And if you're about to have your assessment, or if you've just had your assessment, you might connect with this. But it took me by surprise. I really wasn't expecting it. In fact, I was hoping that I had ADHD because it would give me a reason for something, for a reason for the way that I am. Anyway, long story short, at the end of the assessment, I'm told that I have ADHD. Well, I burst into tears. And lovely Rebecca, who assessed me, was like, I think she thought I was upset that I had ADHD. I couldn't actually even manage to articulate it well enough that why I was crying was because the armor that I have built up over the years, subconsciously, with, completely unaware, that I've been masking, creating a character around this neurodiversity so that I could get away with stuff. And when I was given this diagnosis, I felt panic-stricken. I'd wanted it, but I felt panic-stricken. I felt a fraud. I felt like a fake. I was like, no, I can't. I haven't got this. It is actually that I'm lazy, that I'm stupid, that I'm just, if I just concentrated more, I'd be able to clear up my room. If I just stopped myself, I'd be able to not compulsively eat. If I hadn't been such an idiot moron when I was younger, I wouldn't have drunk myself under the table, you know, night after night after night. I wouldn't have let relationships collapse. I wouldn't have, you know, all these things that, yes, all humans can, of course, all those habits can be in any human, but there is a difference when it's ADHD. And I found that really hard, that there could be a reason for this. And my assessor Rebecca was so lovely. I said to her, I feel like a fake, I feel like a fraud. I feel like, no, I am all these things, I am lazy. And she said to me, you know what? She said, you're not lazy. Sorry. She said, but somebody with ADHD works so much harder than other people to do things that a neurotypical person would do probably without thinking. I think it's called your executive thinking, is just like all haywire. So you can really focus on something, and then as hard as you try, you don't have enough dopamine to focus on other things. So when you lose your keys, when you put your glasses down 10 times and you can't find them, when you're consistently late, when you repeat the same behaviors, when you drive people crazy with the way that you are, when you can't help but jump in on a conversation because you get too excited when somebody's talking and your brain's racing ahead. This is all part to do with the fact that the neurotransmitters and the dopamine, obviously I'm not a scientist, so this is just me telling you this. You'd have to look up for the perfect explanation of this. This is my understanding of it. You need this thing called dopamine and your bloody brain doesn't make it. So when you overeat, you get a hit of dopamine. When you have been given a deadline, you've been given 4 weeks and you do it in the last hour, the reason you're doing it in the last hour is you need to get that shot of dopamine. It's gobsmacking. It's totally gobsmacking. It's turned my life upside down. I entered it all thinking this will be a bit of a joke, and I've been hit from the side, and I'm like just like trying to get my head back around again, and it's freaking me out, stroke exciting me beyond belief. I cried for the first 2 days. Who'd have thought it? Not me. I'm not a crier. I cried for 2 days, and then I got really interested. And then I started reading and listening, and it is fascinating. And I said to my husband, Mark, I've got to do a series of videos. I've got to, because I want to fill in the gaps of, I mean, there's so much brilliant stuff out there, but I just want just a really, not overthought, not edited, not performed. I just want to do like 8-9 minutes, because I know you can lose attention with ADHD, of the stages that I'm going through. So stage 1, I've been assessed. Had a couple of days of like upside down crying, lost feeling, and now things are changing. And in the next video, I'll tell you all about that. I'm keeping them short so I can keep you engaged. Hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you can be notified when the next video comes up. Thank you very much.